Hello friends, welcome to our channel 10 minutes code, and this is the third video of our machine learning course, and here we are going to learn the Matplotlib for data visualization in machine learning or data science. So the main purpose of Matplotlib is to create graphs, data with the help of data, and so that for better data visualization while creating a machine learning projects or data science projects. Okay, and here we are going to use NumPy for data management, and for plotting the graph we are using Matplotlib. So in this course our second video was NumPy, so if you have not seen that NumPy yet, then you can see it. Okay, so we are going to import NumPy as np, and then we are going to import Matplotlib dot pyplot as plt, and let's run this. Yeah, it's fine. Now the next step, we have imported a dependency, and now we are going to plotting. Okay, so let's see how plotting works. So let's create a x points. I'm creating x point, and we are using np.array to create a x point. So if I write 0,6, so it will create a x point from 0 to 6. Okay, and here I write y points and np.array, and here I will write 0 to 100. So that's all. And the next step, we have to write plt.plot. Plot is an inbuilt function for Matplotlib, and we are going to pass two arguments here, which is x point and y points. So this is the horizontal line, and this is the vertical line, and this is going to be plot. So we are going to use plt.show function to see the plotted graph. So you can see your plotted graph 0, 1 to 3, 6 and 0 to 100 as the y-axis. This is how we are going to plot the graph in Matplotlib. Now there is a thing called marker. Let me show you markers. So I'm going to copy this thing down here, and here I'm going to write comma, and at the semicolon I'm going to write O. Okay, so it will mark like this. Okay, like this, it will mark like this. Instead of this, if I write here marker, so it will create a line, and this will be the marker. Okay, we will talk about marker in depth after some times. Until now, let's see what we can do. We can also, if I want to add more points in our array, suppose let me create x points again, and I'm going to create an np dot array, and here I'm going to pass suppose 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and I'm going to create a y points, and I'm going to create np dot array, and I'm going to pass 0, 5, 5, 2, 10. Yeah, and plt dot plot, and I'm going to pass x points and comma y points, and I'm going to the plt dot show. That's all. So you can see it has created a graph. First is 0 and 0, so it will point 0 and 0. Next 2 and 5, so it's 2 and 5. Then it's 4 and 5, it's 4 and 5, and then it's 6 and 2, and then 8 and 10. That's how it's gonna work here. Yeah. Now suppose I am creating like this, and I am removing the x points from here, and also removing from this, and only I pass one parameter called y points, and we gonna see that it will give the default x points. So default x point will be from 0, 0 to 4. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the default x points, because there are five values here, so there are 5 x points, default x points. Okay, so let's study markers in depth. So let me write markers, and now suppose I am creating a y points and np dot array, and here I'm going to pass 0, 5, 5, 2, 10. Let me just copy this thing here. I'm going to copy this here, and now to use marker, suppose I am writing markers. Marker is equal to small o, and it will create a marker like small o. And if I write here star, it will create a star. If I write here capital D, it will create a capital diamond, and if I write here S, it will create a square. That's how it's gonna work. And suppose if I write here ms is equal to 20, so this will increase the size of the marker. This is marker size. Suppose I write a stand, so this is the marker size, and suppose I am going to write mfc is equal to y, so this will color the inner point in the marker. And if I write here mec is equal to red, so mec for the border and mfc for the inner color, okay, of the current marker. Okay, so if I write here both yellow, then it will color the whole marker. Okay, this is how mec for the border and mfc for the inside the marker. Okay, and ms is the size of marker and marker is like this. Okay, so this is how you can edit the markers. So, okay, so and I'm going to show one more thing, which is marker line and color. This is called as FMT. Let me show you how it works. Suppose I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to remove all this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create semicolon. I'm going to write D, which is diamond, then this one, which is dotted line, and the color dotted line, diamond, dotted line, and Y, which is yellow color. And when we run this, then we can see there is a diamond drawn, there is a dotted line here, and there is a yellow color. Suppose if I write here dashed, so it will create a dashed line here. Okay, so if I write here double dash, so it will create a double dash line. If I change the Y to R, then it will create a red line, and if I change the D to S, then it will be square. Yeah, and it can be holes. So this is called marker line and color. It's also called a short FMT. Okay, in Matplotlib. Now let's talk about lines. That's all. Suppose this is the Y. Okay, now here we can give a line style is equal to dashed, so it will be dashed, and if I write a dotted, it will be dotted. If I write here, or we can also draw a like this. Okay, suppose, yeah, we can also draw, or we can also write also. Okay, that's how line style work. And there is one thing more, which is line width. Okay, which is, suppose I am going to write 10, so it will increase the width of the line with 10. And there's a color attribute too. Suppose I'm going to write B, it's already blue, and suppose I write R, then it will change the color to R. This is how you can change the line. Okay, then I'm going to show you the multiple lines. Suppose there are two arrays x point, suppose there are two, suppose I am creating x point different and plt dot plot and y points, so it will create two lines here. Okay, for first one and for the second one. That's how it works. Okay, now let's talk about labels. How can we give the labels? To give the labels, first of all, we can also give title. So to give the title, we can write plt.title, and here we can pass a title students score, and we can see here we got the title. Okay, and then we can pass the x label and also a y label. Okay, y label, and here we can write student roll number, and we can write student score. We can see that here it's student score, it's student roll number, or we can write student marks. Okay, student marks. That's how we can give labels and title to them. Okay, now there is one more thing here. I will show you, which is fonts. Okay, fonts. So let's check it out. Suppose this is the students graph. Okay, now we are creating a variable called font1, and I am going to assign this with first family, and I am going to write here serif. So this is the font serif, and comma, I am going to give the color. Suppose I am going to give red, and then I can give size, which will be suppose 20. Okay, 20. And then to apply this in this, suppose I have to apply this in title, so I can write font dict, and then I will write font 1. So you can see it has been applied. And one more thing, we can pass left, we can use lock function, and we can write left. So just a second. So you can see this has been come to left, and if I write here right, so it will come to right. Okay, that's how it's going to work. And middle not work, so its default is medium. Okay, let's keep this as left. And suppose I am creating a font 2, I am just changing different, I am doing this blue, and I am doing the size as 10, and I am going to write the comma font dict is equal to font 2. Let's change the variable as font 2, and here also font dict is equal to font 2. So we can see these are different and this is different. Okay, this is how we can change the font of the labels of the data. Now there is a thing called grid in Matplotlib. Okay, let me show you. There's a thing called grid. So what I can do is I can just copy this all. So this plot is without grid, means there is no boxes inside the graph. So to show the grid, we have to just before plt.show we have to write plt.grid. What is it? I want to do like this. So it will create a grid here, and to edit the grids we can write here axis also if we want particular grid of particular axis. So if I write here x, then it will create only x-axis grid, and if I write here y, then it will create only y-axis grid. And we can also use the line style for grids. Suppose line style is equal to, I am using line style is equal to, I am using double dashed, so it will create a double dash. Okay, and we can give a line width to, as suppose I am giving 20, so it will create a 20. It's too much peak, let's keep this as 3. So this will look like this. This is how we can give line style, line width, and axis to for the grid. Okay, now there is a thing called subplot. So I'm going to show you. First I am going to create x is equal to np dot array, and here we are going to pass 0, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to create a y np dot array, and I'm going to pass suppose 3, 8, 1, 9. Okay, now we can write plt dot subplot, and here we are going to pass 3 parameters. First, 1 means it will be at the first row, 2 it means it will be the second column, and this is the first subplot, so we are going to write first. Okay, now we are going to write plt dot plot, and we are going to pass the variable x comma y. So this is the first plot. Let me run this, so this we can see. Now let's create a second plot. I'm going to copy this down. Instead of 1 I am going to write 2, so it will be the second plot. Let's show this. So it will create a 2 plots. Okay, now you can create multiple plots too. You can create the 3 plots too. Let me write a third plot. Sorry, I think so. Yeah. So it has created. Wait a second. So here I am to write 3. So what's the problem here? Must be integer. Let me 1 2 2 1 2 3. Okay, I think so it can create 2 plots. It can also create multiple plots, but wait a second, I'm going to see. Suppose we have to do it with column, so instead of 2 here I am to write 1, and instead of 2 here I am to write 1, 2 here I am to write 1, and here, so it will create column. Okay, column. And for multiple graphs, let me check if whether it works or not. 2 1 2, I am going to write a 3. Suppose I am just, let me change some values here. 5 2 1 3 and plot x comma y. So it's not working, it's okay. So the next is what we are going to see is scatter. Okay, scatter. So let's see what is scatter. So suppose I am creating x np dot array. Let's pass some values is inside this random values. So 5 comma 3 comma 8 comma 9 comma 3 0 5. Okay, let me do it with 10 t 40 7 68 89, that's all 90. And now what I am going to do is we are going to create y dot np dot array, and I am going to pass some bigger values here. 99 70 60, 89 67 99. Okay, 67. So now we can write plt dot scatter, and we are going to pass here x and comma y, and we are going to write plt dot show. So it will create a scatter plot. Okay, so more you can you add more values. So this is used for creating a scatter plots, and there can be a comparison too. Suppose I am creating this, I will just copy this down and I will write this here also and here also. Okay, so it will create a comparison plot. First let me change some values. 6 24 46 69 89 70. Okay, let me get 92 71 79 47 39. Okay, let me just run this. So you can see this will create a comparison plot. Okay, comparison scatter plot, and you can also pass the sizes to them. Let me show you. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to create one more array as for sizes. So I'm going to write np.array, and I'm going to pass the sizes here for every plot. So 40. So you can pass the weight also. It will be very useful in machine learning and data science when you're dealing with the bigger data. So it will create sizes. Oh sorry, I have to pass this sizes. So s is equal to sizes. Okay, there's a problem when name sizes is not defined. Sorry, s is equal to s, I think so. Yeah, we can see that there is a different sizes for every point, just like we have passed your size. So you can use it in the scatter plot. Now there is one more thing, which is bar graph. Okay, bar graph. And now suppose I am creating an x and I am going to create an array, and here I am going to pass the labels for bar graph a comma b comma c and comma d. Fine. And next y is equal to np dot array to pass values here. So I am going to pass 3 comma 8 comma 1 comma 10. Fine. And now plt dot bar, and here we are going to pass x comma y, and then we are to write plt dot show. So this will create a bar graph. Suppose I am to create a bar graph horizontally. So I'm just copy this code, and here after the bar I'm going to write h, and this will create a bar graph horizontally. That's all. And suppose I want to change the width of the graph. So to write we change width, we can write width is equal to 0.1. So it will create. Okay, what's the problem here? There are multiple values. Bar h. Let me do this bar. So it will create width with 0.1, and if I write here color red, so it will change the color. Okay, Now there is a thing called histogram. Okay, histogram. Let me tell you what the histogram is. Histogram is a graph showing frequency distribution. Okay, frequency distribution. So we are not going to focus that much deeper into it, but we are going to see how to plot the histogram. So we are creating an x variable and we are going to create a random value for now because we want more data for histogram. So random.normal, and we are going to pass parameters here. So this will generate multiple random numbers, and what we are going to do, we are going to plt.hist for creating a histogram, and we are going to pass here x, and then we are going to write plt.show. So these are the histogram. Because it's a random value, it will change every time. Okay, so we are going to focus, we are not going to focus deeper for now in histogram, we will see it later. So next is last topic is pie charts. Okay, so this is very interesting. So suppose I am creating y is equal to np.array, and here I am going to pass value 35, 20, 25, 25 and 15, and I am to write plt.py and I'm going to pass the values y, and I am going to write plt.show. That's all, and this will create a graph. Okay, now I am going to write what I am going to, we can also pass labels here. Let me show you. So I am going to create a labels here. Let me create a variable called my labels. So I am writing here apple, bananas, watermelon and chiku, and here we write comma, and we are going to write labels, and here we are going to write my labels. So it will create a labels here. And one more thing, there is a thing called explode. Okay, there is a thing called explode. Let me show you what is explode. So you can understand, you don't want definition for this, you can understand by the example. So I am creating a variable called my explode, and I will pass your value 0.2 suppose. So this will explode 0.2 apple by 0.2 and 0, 0, 0. I will create an explode. So explode, and I am going to pass here my explode. So this will explode the apple by 0.2. Suppose I write here 0.5, so it will go further 0.5, and if I write here 0.2 for watermelon, so watermelon was 0.2. That's how explode function works. Okay, let's keep this as everything as 0.2, 0, 0, 0. So to show a particular thing we can use. Okay, so that is in plt.legend. Let me show you how this works. plt.legend. So this will create this thing. Okay, and we can also pass title here. Suppose I am writing for fruits, so we can see the title here at the center inside the legend. That's how it works. Okay, so that's all for today. So there's one more thing, you can also pass shadow here. So shadow is equal to true, so it will create a shadow for the pie chart, as you can see here. So that's all for today. For the source code for this whole tutorial, you can find it in comment or at my GitHub page. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and for more interesting video for machine learning, web development and lead code DSA, so you can subscribe our channel 10 minutes code. Thank you.